Hello, my dear students. Today we are learning one more topic in paper 6 of semester 5, that is session 32, pertaining to stem cells. Okay. Formal welcome to my today's online class. So today we are learning about different types of stem cells, the definition of stem cells, different types, the source, and especially with more emphasis on their applicative value or applications. I am Dr. MEERA B K, Associate Professor, Department of Zoology, Maharani Science College for Women, Bangalore 1. Now, before forgetting, I would like to keep on record my sincere, heartfelt thanks to my good friend and colleague, Dr. Lata V, who made these quality PPTs, and my role is just to give the voice to these PPTs so that a video is produced. So, we shall start our class now. So, what are stem cells? You can see in the center of the PPT one undifferentiated cell, and in due course of time it can differentiate into a muscle cell, a fat cell, a bone cell, blood cell, nerve cell, epithelial cell, immune cell, gamete, and whatnot. So, a cell which has potentiality to develop into any type of cell is called a stem cell. Okay, this is just the schematic representation. Then in this class you will be learning about the definition, properties of stem cells, different types and applications, and once we are done with the class you will become familiar with all these concepts. Okay, now so these stem cells are essential cells which replace the damaged cells or cells that are lost due to diseases. Okay, and these are the earliest cells of the cell lineage in tissues, and they can be found in both the embryonic state as well as in adult organism. I will highlight about these points in next coming PPTs. And what they basically do is provide a continuous supply of new cells, which go into the formation of tissues and organs of animals and even plants. Okay, and why these stem cells gained lot of significance is because they are of great interest as a therapeutic method for various diseases and conditions. They are used in the treatment of various diseases. That's how research on stem cells has become a burning topic of today's research areas in biological sciences. Okay, then these are basically cells present in the embryonic organism, especially in the blastocyst stage. Later they differentiate into all other different types of cells that you see in your body. Okay, I don't mean to say that stem cells are not present in adults and restricted only to the embryonic organisms. No, they are present in adults, but they are localized to specific areas within the body like bone marrow, gonads, like that. Okay, so they are found in blastocyst stage, also in adult stage. Okay, with regional specification, all right. Then what is the definition? Stem cells are unique cells present in the body that have the potential to differentiate into various cell types or divide indefinitely to produce other stem cells. So stem cells can differentiate into other types of cells, or they can keep on producing same type of cells, that is stem cells only. Okay, this is the definition of stem cells. They are unique cells present in the body that have the potential to differentiate into various cell types, or they divide indefinitely to produce other stem cells. Okay, then here you can see the schematic representation. At the top, what you see is a pluripotent stem cell. They can revert back, they can divide to produce many cells like that only, or they may differentiate into adult blood cells or even other types of stem cells. Okay, and the stem cells which differentiate into adult blood cells go into the formation of cell components of cells of immune system, whereas the other stem cells may differentiate into muscle cells, nerve cell, cardiac muscle cell, bone cell, okay, and whatnot, right? Then, what are the properties of stem cells? Number one, they are capable of dividing and renewing themselves for long periods of time. Capable of dividing and renewing themselves for long periods of time. And they undergo a period of cell proliferation while preserving the undifferentiated state. They don't differentiate, but they proliferate. Okay. Then these cells are unspecialized or undifferentiated, and they are simply present as a mass of cells which differentiate later during the period of division. All right. Then another property is their ability to differentiate into specialized cells that together make up different tissue types. Okay. So these cells can be either pluripotent or multipotent. Okay. So these happen to be some of the properties of stem cells. Then what are the different types of stem cells? Depending upon the source of stem cells or where they are present, you can have 5 different types of stem cells. One is embryonic stem cells, another one is adult stem cells, which are localized like somatic or tissue specific stem cells, and then induced pluripotent stem cells, iPSCs, then perinatal stem cells, then MSCs, mesenchymal stem cells. These are the 5 different types of stem cells. Okay, each one of which we are learning in detail now. So original type of stem cells, there are 3 types: totipotent, pluripotent, and multipotent. Totipotent means capable of forming almost 200 different types of cell types present in the adult body. Okay, so at the zygotic level. And multipotent, they are capable of generating all tissue types the way it has been shown in the PPT. Then multipotential, they have restricted potencies when compared to embryonic stem cells. They become particular types of cells, and they become lineage committed, like either giving rise to endodermal cells or mesodermal cells or ectodermal cells, like that. So originally you find 3 types: totipotent, pluripotent, and multipotent stem cells. This classification is based on their percentage of potency to differentiate into the other types of cells, okay? Original types, origins and types. Then we shall talk about embryonic stem cells. This is the schematic representation where you have this embryonic stem cells present as a mass of cells in blastocyst stage, and they are capable of self-renewal as I have taught you earlier, and they produce pluripotent cells. So ectodermal cells, mesodermal cells, endodermal cells and germ cells like this, okay? Then, so these are a group of cells present in the inner cell mass of the embryo at a very early stage of development called blastocyst, right? So the blastocyst stage is reached within 4 to 5 days after fertilization, and the number of cells at that point will be hardly 50 to 150. And these are pluripotent. That means they can develop and differentiate into various types, approximately 200 to 250 type of cells during their proliferation. And these are present within the embryo. They divide and differentiate into germ cells and they become specialized, okay? And embryonic stem cell culture is very important as they serve as a new source of regenerative medicine and genetic disease and toxicology tests in vitro. That's the reason why the studies and research on stem cells is gaining full vigor, okay, because of their therapeutic value, okay, their significant role in regenerative medicine, all right. Then the second type, adult stem cells or somatic or tissue specific stem cells. You can see the liver cells, then bone marrow cells, then nerve cells, okay, then muscle cells. So here the stem cells are localized in particular regions of the body and they are lineage committed cells, okay. Then so they are found in specific tissues as I was telling you, and function to repair and form cells only the tissues they are found in. So the stem cells found in liver can produce only the liver cells. That's what I exactly mean. That means their capabilities and potentialities are less comparatively, okay, compared to embryonic stem cells, all right. And they are found both in children and adults, mostly localized in particular tissues like epidermis, bone marrow, then intestinal lining, etc., okay. And then so the stem cells present in bone marrow are hemopoietic cells. Hemopoiesis is synthesis of blood cells that differentiate to form 3 different types of blood cells and immune cells, okay. And the stem cells are also found in brain, localized in brain, which differentiate to form very few nerve cells after birth, right. Then next category of stem cells happens to be iPSCs, induced pluripotent stem cells. Let's see. So the limitations in the adult stem cells led to the creation of novel pluripotent cells. You know, they are termed induced pluripotent cells from the adult cells by the process of reprogramming the genetic makeup or the genes, okay. So they are formed when the adult cells are cultured with embryonic stem cells, where a fusion of these two cells form new cells with stem cell like properties, okay. And sometimes, you know, these somatic cells can be reprogrammed to acquire pluripotency, and these are similar to embryonic stem cells and they can be stimulated to differentiate into any other type of cell type. Okay? Then, but they are different from embryonic stem cells in the level of gene expression and the condition of chromatin of the cells. Okay? Then, it also helps to study new genetic diseases by generating induced pluripotent stem cells from their adult or somatic cells. Okay? So, the induced stem cells, iPSCs, of the heart and the eyes can be used in the transplantation of the cells during severe heart and eye related diseases. So, this category of stem cells have more of therapeutic significance. Alright. Then the fourth category, perinatal stem cells. They are a type of intermediate cells which have the characteristics of both embryonic stem cells and adult stem cells. Okay. Basically, they are derived from extra embryonic cells of fetal membrane. Okay. Then umbilical cord, then amniotic fluid. Okay. So, these stem cells are known to possess immune privileged characters as well as broad multipotent plasticity. Okay. So, these are perinatal stem cells, and these are isolated from extra embryonic tissues, as I was telling you, that are typically discarded after birth, and these cells are active, non-tumorigenic, they are multipotent and can differentiate it to cells of endothelium, hepatic, adipose and even neural tissues. Okay? So, they have a high degree of division and potency. So, these stem cells have a lot of research and therapeutic applicative value, especially in the treatment of renal disease, cardiac diseases, inflammatory diseases, bone regeneration and the treatment of spinal cord injury. Okay? So, these cells have, because of these valid applications, they are cultured artificially to obtain large number of cells. Okay? Then the another type of stem cells happen to be mesenchymal stem cells. This is the schematic representation. Then these are cells of adult stem cell or somatic stem cells, mostly found in tissues of muscles, liver and bone marrow. Okay? See, the most common type of stem cell is the one found in bone marrow, where they differentiate to form cells of skeletal system including bones and the cartilage. And these are found in fetal tissues but also in many adult tissues. Okay? Mostly present in small quantities, right? And then these MSCs have immunomodulatory features, as they secrete cytokines and immune receptors which regulate the microenvironment in the host tissue. So, the potential to produce cells of different cell lines, immunomodulation and secretion of anti-inflammatory molecules make these type of cells a useful tool in the treatment of especially chronic diseases. Right. So, after having learnt about 5 different types of stem cells, you should know the applications. First one, they are used in regenerative medicine, which deals with the restoration of tissues or organs in the patients suffering from severe injuries or some chronic diseases. Number one, their application in regenerative medicine. Secondly, they find use in cancer treatment. It is possible to transplant hemopoietic stem cells to the patients after cancer treatments. Okay. Then they find application in new drug discovery. Stem cell research has also been used for the testing of new drugs before they can be tested in animals or humans. Then this plate or PPT presents you about the promise of stem cell research and future prospects. Okay. So this is the diagram depicting the expected clinical applications of some stem cell research. Okay. So many universities offer postgraduate diploma of 1 year duration or so in stem cell research only. So if you are interested, once you are done with your graduations, you can contact Manipal University, etc. and you can just take training so that you will become employable in stem cell research centers. All right. Then they find applications in transplantations. Okay. Where they are used in the treatment of various diseases like bone marrow for leukemia transplantation, nerve cell transplantation for Parkinson's disease, and so also Alzheimer's disease. Then transplantation of heart muscle for heart disease. Then pancreatic islets for diabetes. Okay. So the progress made in the field of stem cell research has laid the foundation for other cell-based therapies of diseases that cannot be cured with conventional medicines. Okay. Some related to human stem cell research, these studies has enormous potential for contributing to our understanding of fundamental human biology. All right. So these are some of the references from which these PPTs have been made, and then as a assessment part, here are few questions MCQ in the form of MCQs. We shall just discuss MCQ 1. What is the process of cell specialization called? A. Proliferation, B. Differentiation, C. Cryopreservation, D. All of the above, and the answer is B. Okay, differentiation. Then another practice question. Embryonic stem cells can differentiate into what all types of cells? First choice is specialized brain cells, all types of specialized cells in the body, insulin producing cells, cells that can produce artificial skin. Answer is B. All cell types of specialized cells in the body. Practice question 3. What is a stem cell? A cell found in the stem of plants. Unspecialized cell with the ability to create specialized cell. Specialized cell that can only generate cells of the same type. None of the above. Answer is B. That is unspecialized cell with the ability to create specialized cells. Practice question 4. A structure formed 5 days after conception with a distinctive outer layer and inner layer. Okay, conception here is fertilization. Blastocyst, one answer. Answer B, zygote. Answer C, embryo. Answer D, none of the above. Answer is A, that is blastocyst, where you find stem cells, embryonic stem cells as a mass of undifferentiated cells. Practice question 5. Applications of stem cells include drug discovery, regenerative therapy, cancer treatment, all the above.